gentle nerds. How's it going?
Greetings, people.
It is time for another Rebel Nerd Radio. This is episode number 230. 230. Getting up
Well,
there.
it'll be 250 and then 300.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what are we talking about tonight? We are going to finish up our
Sequel trilogy series.
We've been talking about the sequel trilogy. We took a break from that to talk about Lego Star Wars. And tonight we are finishing it up to talk about the Rise of Skywalker. I'm sure there will be
interesting comments and conversation.
Interesting comments, yes. I'm sure. This movie is almost as divisive as Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi, yeah.
Almost.
And just to kind of preface that whole thing, yes, we've heard the old tired comments and the hatred and all that kind of stuff. And like we've always said, we're not kind of about that. We just want to have a general conversation about it, maybe address a few things, some things that we saw, and just kind of go over it because we had a 10th anniversary of The Force Awakens, and some people asked us to do The Last Jedi, and obviously, if we're going to do those two, we can't do it. We can't just leave it out there and not do The Rise of Skywalker. So we're going to talk about it, and yeah.
Well, let's see who we got in the chat room. We have Matthew, who showed up bright and early.
Mm-hmm.
We have Mr. Steve Spawn.
Hey, Steve.
We have Gap that showed up early this time. Wow.
Hello. Hey, Gap.
Look at there. And we have Brennan.
Hey, Brennan.
And that's all we have so far.
Yeah.
More trickling through.
Gap says he's never seen the sequel trilogy movies. I recommend that you watch them. Don't listen to the hate. Don't listen to the discourse of just random people running their mouths. Just watch them with an objective opinion. And Matthew says should have been movies. We'll address that. We'll get to that, Matthew. We really will. Should have been movies. What?
Mm-hmm. I don't get what he's saying.
I know what he says because a lot of people. So I know. Like I said, I know we're going to get into this, but
we've talked about this before. How the trilogy
No. Actually, the ninth movie should have been two movies, and I think I tend to agree. I tend to agree that it should have been two movies. I think it should have been like a part A, part B, or like episode 9, part 1, episode 9, part 2. I agree.
And I will say, not only for Gaps to help you out here, but anybody else that is watching this or listening to this and has not seen any of the sequel trilogy movies, this is not a spoiler-free discussion.
Yes.
We will be spoiling everything.
Yes. If you have not seen them and you don't want to be spoiled, you should probably leave now. Not that we don't want you to be here, not that we don't want you to stay, but this is going to be a spoiler conversation. And you've had how many years to see the movie and you haven't seen it yet? So, I mean, that's kind of on you. Yeah, it's on you.
It's been out for a while.
It's for sure on you.
Yeah.
I mean, normally we give a grace period of like, I don't know. I think most people, the fair grace period is like a week or two. I think it's like a week. I think it's a week if people are being like truly generous. Most people are like, if you haven't seen it in 3 days and you call yourself, whatever. I don't want to say call yourself a fan. I don't like to be gatekeep. I don't like the gatekeep. So I don't like to say if you call yourself a fan, we should have watched it within 3 days. That's not fair. I don't like to say that. No. So I think a week. I think a week to 2 weeks is more than fair.
But yeah, we're coming up on 6 years with this movie. So
yeah. So if you haven't watched it within 6 years, you're just falling behind.
Gap just popped in, or not Gap. Gap was already here. Uh, Joy just popped in, and she said they podcast now. That, of course, is one of the more entertaining quotes from the movie.
But we haven't left yet, so how can we be like, oh, yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Gap says you
They
need a
fly
20-year grace period.
Nah, you don't need that
Have you seen
much.
Revenge of the Sith yet?
Yeah, no shit. Matthew's the get off my lawn moment. Yeah, whatever.
Come on now.
I'm not there yet.
Anyway,
I'm not
so
that
what?
old.
Oh, you do anything interesting?
Actually, well, what I was supposed to do Saturday was we were supposed to do my my girl, for those of you who don't know, my girlfriend does she's on the board and does work with a charity organization here in Kansas called First Responders of Kansas. And so it's a organization that helps out police, firefighters, EMS, people like that. And they donate money to different organizations that help those people out and those folks. And they were doing a charity run this weekend, and I was supposed to help with that. But instead, my girlfriend's car decided to blow the serpentine belt. And so I sat in the middle of the parking lot during a charity event and changed out a serpentine belt in her car. So that was all kinds of fun. It got me out of
Fun
traffic duty, though.
times,
So
yeah.
that was kind of good.
Fun
Huh?
times. I said fun
Yeah.
times.
Yeah, but it got me out of traffic duty because if I hadn't done that, I would have been on traffic duty, which would have sucked. So actually, it was not so bad because I get to stay in the parking lot and I got to work on her car, and like I said, got out of traffic duty. So, and how many places do you know where you work on cars and you have popcorn? They had barbecue. They had icy pops. They had a DJ. I was sitting right next to the Army National Guard guys who I had a really great conversation with. So yeah, it was definitely an interesting experience, and I had to call in a few favors from buddies to get jacks and some tools and stuff like that. So it was kind of fun. Yeah, so that was my Saturday, and then we just came home and chilled and got to spend some quality time with the daughter, which was fun.
That's good.
Uh, and then Sunday morning we went to a farmers market they had here in the local town that we were in, and it was all Halloween themed and all that kind of stuff. So that was a lot of fun. So yeah, that was my weekend. Yeah. And
Very fun.
other than that, we are packing. For those of you who don't know, we don't have a show unless Steve has decided to.
I haven't planned anything. It's probably not going to happen.
Okay. Well, there's a chance that next week we won't have a show because I think we talked. I don't know if I talked about it on the show yet, but we are actually myself, my girlfriend. My sister and her husband and two kids are actually going to be traveling to Estes Park and spending a week in Estes Park together as a kind of a family-ish vacation kind of thing. So they've never been west of the Mississippi into the mountains, so it's going to be an interesting experience for all of them because they've never been into the mountains at all. So it'll be their first experience. So we're going to take them up there and show them some of the stuff and some of the sights. And the aspens should be changing colors. And
Take them to Denver. Mile High
yep,
Comic.
and take them to Denver, and we'll probably end up spending a little time there. Probably spend a day there, I imagine. And they have for those of you who haven't been there, or for those of you who have been there, maybe you've seen it. They have an REI, which we actually love REI, which is a recreational. Anyway, they do camping, hiking, biking, all basically a lot of outdoor mountain sports kind of thing. And they have a huge store inside of Denver. So we're going to take them to that and show them Denver and show them the mountains. We're actually going to be staying in Estes Park for the week. And yeah, so we're actually been packing and doing things for that. Right before the show, we were kind of discussing a few things that we need to get packed up. And then right after we get done with the show, I'll be doing more packing. And we get to leave at dark 30 in the morning to travel to drive through western Kansas to go to Colorado. So yeah. Woo.
Fun times.
If you've ever been to western Kansas, for those of you who don't know, it's boring as hell.
Oh yeah, no, I've driven through it to get to Colorado.
Yeah. There is like nothing there. There's like a town every so often, and other than that, it's just flat farmland that just there's nothing there. And windmills and like 200-foot windmills. So yeah, it's that.
Quite the
So
quite the state.
yeah.
but yeah, when you're in Denver, definitely go to Mile High Comics. And Joy says that you should go to Meow Wolf. See, okay, now I have to go look this up. What is that?
Yeah, we'll have to look that up to figure out what that is.
Meow Wolf Denver Convergence Station. It's a tourist attraction. It's an interactive art experience. Ooh.
Wow.
Narrative-driven art experience where visitors can explore fantastical interdimensional worlds. Holy hell, man, that sounds cool.
That does sound kind of cool. Why do I need to pack my loincloth?
I
Matthew.
don't know. It is coming from Matthew, so
that is true. I mean, Matthew, I'm going to need clarification.
Take it for who it's coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joyce says it's impossible to explain. You just have to experience it.
Yep, I just saw that. Yeah, so I'll have to look that up while we're there and see if it's something they'd be interested in doing. So we'll have to check.
Yeah, my weekend was not as eventful as yours. I spent most of the weekend sick, but so most of the weekend sick and just kind of sitting in my office watching movies. But Friday, I actually did go to the theater again. It has been a while. The last movie that I saw in the theater was actually at the end of August, and it was the re-release Jaws.
Oh, nice.
And so,
dude, you know what? Speaking of which, they were talking about on the news this morning. We watch the news before we go to work in the morning, and we kind of all sit and have our coffee and watch a little bit of news. And they were listing movies that were like out in theaters, and like none of them I had ever even heard of. Like the top 5 movies, I'd never heard of any of them, and I was like, do they even make decent movies anymore? I don't know. But it was weird.
But yeah, so I didn't see any movies in September, which is disappointing. But there really hasn't been anything out. But even so, I was like, you know what? I haven't been to the theater in a while. There isn't really anything that I want to watch, so I'm just gonna find something and go watch it. So I wound up going and seeing a movie called One Battle After Another.
Oh.
Okay. So it had
Leonardo
DiCaprio. And
that is not how you pronounce that.
Yeah, close enough. And Sean Penn and Benicio del Toro. Outside of that, I didn't really recognize anybody with a big name. But yeah, I went and saw that, and yeah, that was my theater experience for the first time in over a month. So
nice.
So, yeah.
Was it good? What's the verdict? I mean, Matthew wants to know too. So,
okay. Here's the thing, folks. If you know me well enough, I don't like a lot of stuff that other people do, and this, I think, is another example of that. The reviews of this movie have been really good. Like, people have really I haven't seen too many bad reviews of it. Most of them have said that it's like this masterpiece and it's just such a great film and da 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 da. I didn't like it. I'm not going to say that I was bored throughout the movie. I wasn't into it. And the movie was fucking long. That thing was almost 3 hours long.
Oh God!
It's like 2.5 hours. It was fucking bad, It was like, this movie is too goddamn long. This movie, you could have told the same story in an hour and a half. Why the fuck is it so long?
It's kind of like
So
Kill Bill.
that's part of the problem is if a movie is too long and isn't interesting enough to be that long, I'm not going to like it. And I just didn't like it. I mean, the acting in it was fine. I mean, from a cinematical standpoint, I guess it was a good movie. I didn't like it. It didn't do anything for me. It just felt like one of those movies that was really long for the sake of being really long. Like, did you ever see that movie that he did? I have not, Matthew. That Leonardo did. Oh, man, it's been a couple of years. And I think it was based here in Oklahoma, but it was like a Native American type. Like he was married to a Native American, and it was like a big oil thing.
Yeah. Something of the native moon or something like that.
Oh man, see now I got to look it up because I don't remember.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember the name of it. I'm
But
not
yeah,
a huge.
I went and saw that in the theater, and I kind of felt the same. Like the movie itself wasn't really that bad, but it was Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah.
It really wasn't that bad a movie. It was just too fucking long. It was 206 minutes long. But yeah, I kind of felt the same way about this. I was like, it's not a bad movie. It's too goddamn long, and you're not going to keep me entertained for that long with a movie like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like you give me 3 hours of Star Wars, I'm good. You know, give me a 3-hour superhero movie.
Well, obviously because it's kept you entertained for almost 50 years. So
yeah, but
there's
it
that.
was just I don't know. Go see it for yourself. Make your own decision. I didn't like it. I didn't think it was worth the 2.5 hours that I spent in the theater to watch it. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I'm not even. Let's see. What did they say? They say they finished. I heard today they finished filming. They did a wrap on Ahsoka season 2.
They did.
So I'm excited about that. And I also understand. I think they wrapped up filming on Mandalorian and Grogu. I think.
See, now I don't remember. I thought that
Yeah.
I thought that one had already wrapped.
Yeah, so maybe it was just a trailer or something. Well, yeah, we saw the trailer, obviously, but yeah. Oh, yeah, that's what it was. It was we saw the trailer and they had the date coming out for it. And I mean, I'm excited about that kind of stuff, but I don't even think I know of any like movies that are coming out that I'm even excited about. I was excited about Superman when it came out. I was excited about when they announced Mandalorian and Grogu, but other than that, I've been just like I don't even know. Is there any even Marvel movies coming out anytime soon?
Not this year.
I was gonna say they kind of backed down on that a little bit after some failures. After they've had a lot of like just movies that have flopped really bad.
I think there are a couple coming out next year.
Isn't Doomsday supposed to be coming out?
Yeah, I think Doomsday is coming out. Let's see. The new Spider-Man comes out in July.
Okay. Wow.
And then
Heck of a stretch.
Yeah, and then Doomsday comes out in December.
Oh wow. So yeah, we're more than a year away.
But also next year, Matthew, that already came out. Yeah, that one was released last month.
Oh, I take that back. I lied. I do know of one movie that I am excited about, and that's Spaceballs 2.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. But
Yeah,
no, next year we're also is when we get the Supergirl movie.
right. Which they started filming.
So yeah, they wrapped filming on that.
Did they
They're
already
all
wrap filming on that? I thought they
they're
were
in
still because I
post
saw a
production
clip of
right
it.
now.
And huh?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
All right, so that was our week. Um, time to turn it over to
Spaceballs.
JD. Go for it. Tell them about our social media.
The quick and dirty version. No. So social media, if you folks want to get a hold of us or you want to see some of our other social media posts and things that we do, including Discord, down at the bottom of the screen, you'll see scrolling across the bottom is biolink/Rebel Nerd Radio. That'll give you access to all of our Rebel Nerd social media sites from Instagram, X, I think Threads. Aren't you on Threads too? Threads,
Yes, we're on Twitter.
yeah, X, Threads, Instagram, Facebook, all of our social media sites are all on there, including a link to Discord, which I say this all the time for those of you who may be joining us new. Please come and join our Discord. We have a lot of great folks that you'll see in the chat. They are all in our Discord. Most of them are in our Discord. There's Brian. Hey, Brian. But yeah, those folks are in our Discord as well, and we have daily conversations. We have all kinds of subjects that you can tune in on, including pets, television, movies, sports, if you wish. We have General Shenanigans channel that you can come in and just kind of post whatever's on your mind or whatever. Or if you have something that you'd like to promote, if you like something that everybody needs to see and you have something you want to put out there for us and that kind of thing, you can always put it on our promotions channel. But please, if you're not a part of it already, please come and join our Discord and join the shenanigans when we're not doing the show because they're just fun, and I don't know why you wouldn't. And
Really says she's looking forward to Zootopia too.
very nice, very nice. And also, you will find a link on there to our Patreon channel or our Patreon page. Patreon is $2 a month. With the $2 a month, you get early access to some of the shows that we do, like Kryptonian Chronicles, the Bat Cave, a few other comic book review shows that Steve and a few other people do. The Kryptonian Chronicles is usually Steve, myself, and Dave when we get a chance. We're kind of backed up right now because we're just scheduling and stuff like that has been kind of weird lately.
Life happens.
Uh, yeah, but you'll also get exclusive access. You'll get exclusive Patreon only access to not only our Star Wars campaign, which finished up probably 6 months ago.
Something
I
like
think.
that.
Yeah, something like that. It was a lot of fun. If you haven't experienced that or you haven't got a chance to see that yet, it's a lot of chaos. It's a lot of rolls of the dice and a lot of fun. And we made Steve work for his being GM, so and it was just funny and fun to watch. We also have a cyberpunk campaign on there, which is kind of in an intermission right now because our GM is taking a break from GMing, and we're going to move on to a new campaign or a completely new story, a completely new
Star
game.
Wars. A new
It's
Star
going to
Wars.
be Star Wars, and it's going to be based on scum and villainy. So we will have a new campaign starting on that as soon as we get our characters created and Steve gets the story ready to go. But those are fun. They're fun to play with. They're fun to watch because we have a great time with them. It's usually chaos. It's usually a lot of nonsense because yours truly has no idea what he's doing. So I have to ask dumb questions and I do dumb things and I try like heck. There you go. Shadows of the Sun is going to be our new.
Shadow of the
Is going to be our
Sun.
new. Is going to be our new role playing game that we're going to be doing online. That will be exclusive for Patreons. Yeah, I try to role play and do things, but sometimes it gets confusing because obviously I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm just winging it. And it turns out to be a lot of fun, a lot of chaos, and just funny because I'm dumb and I just don't
Loads
know.
of fun. Loads of fun though.
Loads of fun. But you'll find that on our Patreon as well. It'll cost you $2 a month, and your $2 goes to help us with our streaming service, which is StreamYard, and helps pay the StreamYard bill. so that way we can keep doing this and do it with a little bit better efficiency than the last streaming service we used. So yeah, if you feel so generous, the $2 a month, which is cheaper than coffee, and like Steve is holding up right now, you'll actually get some exclusive stickers. And for our Patreons, I know I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. It's just a restriction of time and money, and we've just all been kind of busy lately. But Steve has stickers he's going to send out to our Patreons, and we
I will.
also
We'll get them
we
out.
have future projects and future things that are coming up that's going to be exclusive to our Patreons for being donors and that sort of thing. So if you have that ability, please, please, like I said, you can please join our Patreon, and we would greatly appreciate it. And not only do you get stickers, not only do you get exclusive access, not only do you get early access, but
Wait,
you also
there's more?
there's more. You get a shout out on our show to Steve.
Hey, Bear. You're not a patron. I saw you in there. Not going to happen, Brian. All right. So thank you to all of our patrons: Dave Brown, Kelly and Chris Olson, Justin Hensley, Charlie Kirby, Chantel Gonzalez. Hey, Chantel's not in the chat tonight. What the hell? Matthew, Steve Spawn, who was in the chat room earlier, still there. Brennan, Brian, who, like everybody else, is not getting a free t-shirt. And our latest, Paul, Paul's Collectibles. Thank you all for contributing to our little shenanigans here.
Mm-hmm.
Sith Apprentice my ass.
I got Jedi Master.
Ain't no Sith Apprentice over here, Smirking Bear.
Now we do have. I have to make a comment though. Is it? Brian was talking about free T-shirts. I did say that we could get to 500 followers on our 500 subscribers on our YouTube channel. That I would personally donate 5 T-shirts that will be on a winner basis, and when we get to that 500, we will tell you how to win those T-shirts, and we will put in how you can do all that. So as soon as we get to 500. Like I said, I'm personally going to buy 5 T-shirts that we will be able to give away that you could win.
We are
for free.
one more subscriber closer. We are up to 317.
317 subscribers. That's great. Perfect. Thank you guys. And again, if you're subscribers, if you like the channel and that kind of thing, please join our Discord. There really is a great group of people. I joke about it all the time, and I sound like a broken record, but it really is a good. It really is a good group. And we have a lot of fun. We joke around, and usually everybody's really friendly. We have a great good morning. There's no toxicity. If you bring toxicity there, you'll probably get banned right away. So the folks who come over there who just want some great people to talk to and have some good conversations, it's a lot of fun.
Now, Bear, that little outburst wasn't because of you. I was actually just checking the score of the hockey game. Today is opening day for hockey, by the way. If you care, I do.
We don't mess with Steve's hockey obsession.
And the Blackhawks are currently losing their game against a fucking Florida team.
Spencer!
Hey, Spencer, what's up, man?
Hey, Spencer, glad you could stop in, buddy.
No, the outburst was because the Panthers just, like, as of a few seconds ago, scored again. And, yeah. Score is now 3-2, if you care. I'll be bringing up.
While Steve's watching hockey while we're doing the show,
I'm not watching the game. I'm just watching the score.
The hell you say? That outburst of what the hell?
Spencer goes, I get here and Steve brings up sports right away.
Sorry, Spencer.
Hey, man, it's not my fault you showed up late.
In Steve's defense, this is the first time he brought up sports the entire time. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I don't typically talk about sports, but
yeah.
Yeah, there's only 2 other games, and I don't really care about either one of them because they're not teams that I give a shit about.
My neither of my current supporting NFL teams are doing very well. So yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. So yeah,
Bernie
I'm not
Bear says
having
he's
one.
a happy Canadian with the NHL season starting. Yep.
Very nice.
And Spencer wants to get banned by saying that he likes hockey teams that beat my hockey team. So I'm gonna wrench you, dude. Anyway, is somebody asking someone to go potty? What?
Oh yes, that. I'm sorry, that was my girlfriend. She was taking our dog out to go potty. Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna
So
say
yeah,
she has to ask
that's
to
what
go to
that
the
was. Sorry.
bathroom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man,
Do what?
you got a tight leash on her, man.
It's the dog, people.
Yeah,
The dog had to go to the bathroom.
his girlfriend has to ask to go to the bathroom. That is just not right. All right, moving on. We have got another new. We've got this new segment that I still haven't made a.
Drawn to the force.
Yeah, drawn to the force. I still haven't made a thingy for it, but yes, this is where, if you're new here, this is where we talk about Star Wars comics that are coming out this week. I've got 2 of them this week. They will be released tomorrow, October 8th. So the first one we have comes from Dark Horse Comics. Wait a minute. Yeah, Dark Horse Comics. It is Hyperspace Stories Tides of Terror #2. I haven't been reading this one, so I don't really know what's going on. It does not appear. Is this a? Okay, this is not a High Republic one, but yeah, I don't know anything about this series. It is only issue #2, so it's a fairly new series. So maybe I'll get caught up on it later. No, Brian, we do not do lick your thingy anymore. Sick bastard.
What bear? What the hell? Imagine though, if JD's wife was asking him if he needs to go out and go potty like a big old puppy. See, she was talking to the dog.
Yeah, I don't believe it. Anyway, so the next comic book that is coming out comes to us from Marvel, and that is Han Solo: Hunt for the Falcon #2.
Ooh.
You know, I never even got around to reading #1.
You know what though? That would be kind of fun to read.
I do have it. So of course this one takes place between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens in that long period of time where but yeah, he is searching for the Millennium Falcon. I remember the synopsis from the first one. And Han and Chewie are teamed up to go find the Falcon. And this is issue #2. So I'll be sure to grab that one and hopefully remember to read the first one. To be honest, I'm like really behind on my comic book reading. like really behind. So that is just one of many that I need to get caught up on. I did get caught up on what's the one I got caught up on finally? Vader's Legacy. I did get caught up on that one.
On Vader's Legacy.
Vader's Legacy. That's it's basically a Kylo Ren comic book.
Mm-hmm.
He's going out and discovering new stuff about Darth Vader. But yeah, those are the new comic books, new Star Wars comic books that are coming out tomorrow. So be sure to grab those if you are so inclined. It's another way of getting your Star Wars fix while we don't have any movies. And there's always good stories in them. So there you have it.
I mean,
Uh,
expanding on the lore and expanding on the story is never a bad thing.
Truth. All right. And that brings us to show and tell time, where we're going to show our things and tell time. All right. Well, I was saying that I don't really have. Oh, you know what? I just saw something I haven't shown on here yet. Okay, go ahead and
Oh, okay. All right. Well, okay. So I told Steve about this before the show. This information that you folks haven't heard about
I
that.
probably would not. I don't think most of our listeners actually give a shit. Smoking Bear.
Yeah, I know for sure. I know for sure Spencer wouldn't, because
now there is a sports channel on our Discord server. So if you are on our Discord server, you can talk about sports on that channel.
Mm-hmm.
But here on our live stream, I don't see it happening.
Especially since we're trying to condense time, since Steve has to go to school.
I mean, at least until I get out of school, then we don't have to be watching time so much.
Then we don't have to watch time so much. The conversation that we had before we got on here, I told Steve, I said he's going to be. I told Steve, I said, promise me you're not going to be mad at me when I show you my thingy tonight.
I ain't promising anything.
Because I know that Steve is going to want one of these, and
JD's an OU fan.
So anyway, like I said, you guys know about my helmets back here. You guys have seen a lot of my helmets back here, and I'm ever expanding my helmet collection. And so for tonight, I got a new helmet. And I will show it to you.
He got dark helmet.
I will show it. I got dark helmet. No, I didn't get dark helmet. No, I will show it to you, and I will, and then I'll obviously I'll unbox it. But here you go. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
The Shore Trooper helmet. Yes. Anyway, so if you don't know, if those of you who don't know, the Shore Trooper helmet was made popular in Rogue One. And yeah, I got this in I think about a week or so ago. But yeah. There we go. Yeah, let's see it. Get out of the package.
For your information, those of you that are watching the chat, Matthew is being facetious because I don't give one rat's ass about OU.
Even though he lives in Norman, Oklahoma.
I do live in Norman, Oklahoma.
Yeah. So
anyway, not far from the campus at all. But
I actually think this has voice changing stuff in it, but I don't have the batteries in it, obviously. So, but yeah, so it's voice changing. But yeah, there's the helmet right there.
That's cool.
I'll give it a shot here. Hang on.
So don't get it stuck.
Oh crap! Oh god! Wait a minute. Hold on. Okay. I think I need to open this. It was like super tight. I couldn't even get down to the eyepiece. That was crazy. Okay, let's try this again. There we go.
Nope. Can you see?
Oh yeah, I can see. I can actually, I think I can see better out of this helmet than I can the Stormtrooper helmet. I actually got a pretty good field of view in this. That's kind of crazy.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So there you go. Yeah, I like I said, I think I got a better field of view out of this one than I do the Stormtrooper helmet. That's what's pathetic. So yeah, cool. Yeah, that's the. For those of you who don't know, this is the Star Wars Hasbro Black Series Short Trooper helmet from Rogue One. So yeah,
Very cool. Very cool.
pretty darn cool.
I hope you can get it off. Okay, there it goes.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. No, you know what though? I'll be honest with you. Other than the nose smashing part of this, because you can kind of see the inside of it,
Yeah.
the bucket there. Other than the nose smashing part of it, this actually fits pretty good, and you can actually see something through it, which is kind of crazy. I've tried on Stormtrooper helmets, even the Boba Fett helmet, and it's hard to see through these things. But this thing probably has the best. You can see the best out of one of these things. It's kind of crazy. Pretty cool. But yeah, Short Trooper helmet. There you go.
All right. So I'm going to pull out of the box that you left me. And yeah, I don't think I've shown this on the air yet. But yeah, it is the limited collector's edition Star Wars Monopoly.
Oh, yeah.
So that looks pretty cool. It's got contains 5 brass Imperial coins. One of those worth any money. 8 pewter Star Wars character tokens. What character tokens does it come with? Let's see. We got we got Boba Fett, Darth Vader, R2-D2, Princess Leia, Chewbacca, a Stormtrooper, Han and Luke. Okay. That's pretty cool. Oh, those
You'll be
coins
opening
are pretty neat. Nice. It is in plastic wrap.
Yep. Never been opened.
And I don't think I'm going to open it because I don't really play a lot of Monopoly, but I don't know. I might.
I bought one a long time ago that I had a version of, and we opened it. I think we played with it once, and then we never played it again. But that because it takes time.
I'd consider open it for the pewter figures.
And the coins.
Oh, that's right, and the coins. Yeah, I'm running out of stuff. I still have 1 box left that you gave me.
Well, you got all those figures in the big box too that I gave you too. All those Unleashed figures. I gave you a bunch of my extra Unleashed figures that I gave.
There's only like 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah. But some of them are really cool though.
Well, I also have a whole bunch of stuff in this bag from Rebel ScumCon that I have not done anything with. A lot of them are pins, like little pins. But yeah, I haven't dug into that one yet. But there we go. There is our show and tell time for tonight. Tune in next time, which probably 2 weeks from now, when we will have more thingies to show.
We like showing our thingies.
We like to show our thingies.
That doesn't sound weird or anything.
Nah, it doesn't. All right. That brings us to the main topic, folks. We are going to talk about the Rise of Skywalker, episode 9 of the Skywalker saga.
We're actually getting a fairly early and decent start this time.
We are. The chat room has been well, you know what? Tina and Chantel are not in the chat room. So most of the chat room has been relatively behaved tonight. You disappoint me, folks.
Are you saying those two don't behave themselves?
I'm saying most of the people don't behave themselves, but tonight they seem like they're a little more behaved. I mean, a hell of a lot more behaved than last week. last week got a little spicy.
Although I did get some really good, like, funny feedback from some people that said that a lot of the comments were like at least like funny, maybe not tasteful, but funny.
Yeah.
Not that we're going to make that a regular habit, because between Darth Maul's bionic thingies and listing the different types of Star Wars condoms, I think it really kind of went south quick.
It did. Matthew said he's bored.
Bored?
How are you bored?
How are you possibly bored here?
All right. So, Rise of Skywalker.
Mhm.
If you remember, think back to when this was released and you had Last Jedi more or less fairly still fresh in your mind.
Mhm.
This movie came out, and so you and I, although we didn't know each other and didn't know we were both at the trailer release at Star Wars Celebration. So we already knew kind of what was going to happen. We had a pretty good idea.
Yeah. So I'll give a little context. I think, Steve, you were in the celebration stage, like main hall, right?
I was in that really big. I wasn't in the main convention building. I was in the one that was across the street.
So you were in the overflow room, or were you in the main stage?
I'm pretty sure it was the main stage because it was when Ian came out.
Okay, because see, I was in the main hall where like the so they have like the celebration stage, and then they have like the main hall, which is the live stage. And see, I was at the live stage with all the people that were watching the trailer when it came out. So, but we were both there. And the thing about it is that if you watch the videos, I've even watched a few of the videos and like different reactions to it from people at Star Wars Celebration in Chicago, and I even seen myself in one of the videos. And actually, I saw me and the girlfriend in the video. Now, I had not been doing cosplay at that point, so we were just in regular outfit. But I don't know about you, Steve. So that's why I'm bringing up where I was at in this part of it is that when we saw the trailer, the initial reaction to it was people were very excited.
That's the impression that I got.
Right.
Like when Ian came out and did his little play it again thing, people just went freaking nuts.
Yeah. Well, and even when they heard his like cackle, if you will.
Yeah.
When they heard the cackle at the end of the trailer, everybody kind of went crazy, and then they saw the name of the movie, and everybody went crazy. So the environment when they first announced the name of the last movie, and the fact that Ian McDermott was coming back, Ian McDermott was coming back to actually play the Emperor, and the Emperor was going to be returning. I mean, everybody, everything that I saw was excitement.
Yeah.
About the whole thing. So yeah, so there's that.
That's what I got too. Now, the impression seemed to change after the movie came out.
Yeah.
Not for me. I mean, my impression when the movie came out, which is kind of where I was getting at to begin with, but my initial reaction to it was I really liked it. Somehow Gandalf returned. What?
Joy.
And really, my opinion hasn't changed over the years. I mean, I just rewatched it recently, like one day.
So I want to address something we started.
I really like it. It's my favorite of the sequel trilogy.
Oh, well. I kind of want to address something that Matthew kind of hit on earlier, and then he hit on it again. He said it felt rushed. Now, let me preface our conversation by saying this. I agree with you, Matthew. I agree that it was very rushed. I think they could have done a part 1 and part 2 and lengthened it out a little bit, and I think it would have made things a lot better. But Let
Yeah.
me say this in defense of J.J. Abrams and the movie and some of the issues that it had. One, yes, it was very rushed because they only gave them a 2-year time period in order to make the movie. That was their first mistake.
Well, and not only that, he wasn't even the first director that was supposed to direct it. Like
Right.
originally, it was supposed to be Ryan coming back, and then they
Hmm.
hired this other guy whose name I can't remember.
Right.
Uh,
And
and then
and then
him and Kennedy got into it, and then they're like, "Let's just bring back JJ."
right.
So
So
JJ was
and
already
so
screwed from the start.
JJ had less time to put together a feasible movie than even the 2 years. Let's be honest. And that was my point number two. Point number two was is the studio panicked because the Last Jedi was so divisive among fans because everybody was excited after the Force Awakens. They wanted to see what was going on. The hype for Star Wars had never been bigger. After the Force Awakens. But when the return or when Last Jedi came out, everything was so divisive. They knew that there was a division among the fans and things were kind of falling apart. Honestly, I think Disney panicked. That's my point number two. Is I think Disney panicked, and I think they tried to number one, Colin Trevorrow, yeah, that's the name. Thank you, Joy. They 100% panicked, and they tried to pander to the mob about what they felt like they deserved or wanted instead of just finishing the vision and going forward with what the plan was to begin with. So they tried to salvage it by pandering by pandering to the mob. They tried pandering to the fans. They tried doing a lot of fan service, and J.J. Abrams had a very little amount of time to do what he needed to do. Point number three. On top of that, they initially said that each movie was supposed to be a focus on each of the original kind of the backstory was supposed to be a focus on the original characters. So the Force Awakens was kind of a homage to Han Solo. The
Mhm.
second one was supposed to be kind of a legend or an homage to Luke Skywalker, and the third one was supposed to be a kind of an homage to Princess Leia. But obviously,
Hello.
we all know that unfortunately, Princess Leia passed, or that Carrie Fisher passed away, and they were not able to put in any footage. They did not have time to get any footage available for her. And for those of you who may not know, a lot of the footage of her in The Rise of Skywalker is actually footage that was left over from The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
So they were working and trying to put her into it. And anything they couldn't get done physically that they didn't have footage for already, her daughter stepped in and tried to do what she could to help the movie out because she wanted to help. Um, so that's kind of the 3 points that there was really working against JJ on this whole thing was the death of Princess Leia, the fact that they were trying to pander to the crowd, which they never should have done. They never should have pandered to the mob because it
Right.
never works out. The more you try to pander to the mob, the more they hate you for it. And for some reason, it never works out.
Well,
Because
not
if you
only
pander,
that, but to make one group happy, you piss off another group.
right. And that's basically what they did. Because when The Last Jedi came out, they pissed off one group of fans, but another group of fans was elated. They loved it. And then when they tried to make the other group of fans happy, they pissed off the previous fans, but they still made the other group mad, and it just made things worse. If they would have just continued the story and done what they had, whatever intention there was when The Last Jedi came out, when they said, okay, this is what we're going to do, this is the direction we're going to go. If they would have just finished it in that respect and not pandered to the crowd and just did what they wanted to do, it probably would have come out a lot better. I kind of feel. So I agree with Matthew. I think it should have been a part one and part two if they were going to make J.J. Abrams do it. I think they should have let him do part one, and then I think they should have they should have split it up so that way he could have made a more comprehensive and a more coherent movie. And that kind of thing. And like I said, the unfortunate passing of Carrie Fisher made things worse. And the fact that Disney was like, oh, we got to do damage control, we got to pander to the mob, blah, 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 blah. And they should have never done that. They should have absolutely 100% never done that. They should have just made a story that they were happy with, and it would have been fine.
Right.
I don't know that it would have been fine. I think it would have caused less issues in the end because people have been like, okay, well, they made the movie they wanted. We can't really complain about that. They finished it. They finished the story. Blah 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 blah. Do I mean, honestly, do I think the movie is bad the way it is? No. Do I recognize that there's some issues? Absolutely. But overall, I was not really upset with it. I just looked past the stuff that was a few issues, and just said overall, I can watch the movie and it's fine. I think it's good, and and obviously, it's not my favorite Star Wars movie. It's probably not even my favorite sequel trilogy movie. But it's not my least favorite either.
Yeah.
I think it ranks kind of, it ranks in a good spot in there, and I don't feel like number one, I don't feel like it deserves the hate that it does. I don't think any of the sequel trilogy does. Secondly, for those of us who lived through the originals, who lived through the special editions, who lived through the sequel trilogy or the prequel trilogy, and who lived through like other stuff in the dark times, we saw that before. We saw that hatred before. We saw all the complaining people did about the Ewoks, the complaining that people did about the special editions, the complaining that people did about about Jar Jar, the complaints about the bad acting in the prequel trilogy. All these things we had saw it all before.
Yeah.
So we knew what was going on when people started complaining. We were aware, and I know Steven knows what I'm talking about.
People
We were aware
ever since Star Wars started.
Yeah, it's been that way. And this is nothing new. The only difference is that now we have social media where any bozo can get online and complain, bitch, and cry and make money off of it. And that's kind of what I feel like a lot of people did was they figured out that they could make money crying about it online and people would listen. And that's what sparked a
Very
lot of the
important
outrage and a lot of the
that
problems.
people make money about bitching about shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Bear made a very good point here. Did I have problems? Yeah. Did I enjoy myself? Yes. Could it have been
Yes.
better? Yeah.
Yes.
That being
Yes.
said, though, it was my favorite. It's not my favorite Star Wars movie. It's my favorite of the sequel trilogy. I just liked it more than the others.
Yeah. The fact that the storyline of Leia actually had been that Luke tried to train Leia as a Jedi and she decided against going into that path. She decided to go different with it, which explained a lot of her powers, which obviously if she was the daughter of Vader, she was going to have force abilities any damn way. So for people to say, oh, she shouldn't have had force abilities, that's a bunch of crap. That's not true. She would have. If she was trained by Luke and she went through the same things, she would have at least been able to train Rey enough that she would have been somewhat experienced and she would have been able to focus her abilities.
Right.
So I don't have a problem with that.
Rey already had abilities because of her lineage, and
yeah,
she just
yeah. And so Leia did what she could to try to complete that training and do what she could to help Rey out because that's the only person Rey could turn to. Do I have a problem with that? Absolutely not. I don't have a problem with that. I think it's fine. But so I'm sure there's other things that we're gonna talk about. So go ahead.
What were your overall thoughts about the whole the plot device of Palpatine's return?
It had been done in the EU. This argument that
Stacy the Star, how you doing?
Hey, Stacy.
This one I recommend. Well, we are talking Star Wars. We're talking the Rise of Skywalker. So feel free to leave any comments if you have any comments about the Rise of Skywalker, and just have fun there in the chat room. Our chat room is very unique.
A very eclectic and unique group of people.
There you go, eclectic
and a unique group of people. Okay,
but yeah,
so
it happened, like you said, it happened to the EU. So
yeah, it happened in the EU, and I don't know, maybe Steve or somebody in the chat can tell us how many times, but Palpatine returned in the EU before the sequel trilogy, before Disney even bought Star Wars.
I don't remember when he returned in the novels.
Right. But he returned, and if I remember correctly, he returned on several occasions where it was either by
Well,
clone, by
right.
you
He
know,
did. He
force.
did in the in
Yeah.
the in the Dark Empire comic book series.
Yes. Yeah.
Uh, and and the and I mean, to be honest, the explanation of why he returned in there was pretty similar. I mean, he
Yeah.
was a clone. He was
Yeah.
a clone.
So and the thing that I couldn't understand about the complaints about him coming back was is that they said that in the EU he came back, and then people said, "Oh, I don't understand why they did that, why they did that, blah 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 blah," and people were like, "Oh, that is such a stupid way to come back." But it was okay when it was in the EU before Disney even bought Star Wars. Then nobody really had, to my
Yeah,
knowledge, nobody had any issues with it.
yeah.
So his
I mean,
return was
they talked
already
about
something that was
cloning
a thing.
in Heir to the Empire,
Yeah.
the Thrawn trilogy, the original Thrawn trilogy. Like they talked about
Mhm.
cloning then. Nobody had a
Yeah. And
problem with
well,
it then.
it, yeah. And I think, wasn't it Dark Empire, like one of the more popular ones? I think he returned in that one too.
Yeah, Dark Empire was the one where Palpatine actually returned, and it was
Yeah.
in a younger body.
Yeah. Mhm.
Um,
So it's not like it hasn't happened. It's not like it wasn't in there. Now, again, with the
hold up,
rush of having, go ahead.
Casey has a question.
Okay.
Okay, so this is what we're here for. She doesn't know what we mean by EU. Okay,
Okay.
EU stood for expanded universe. So
Mhm.
when we stopped getting movies, there were publishers doing books, there were publishers doing comic books, and basically the EU was all of the stories that happened outside of the movies that
And
happened
before the,
before Disney bought Star Wars.
mhm. You may also, just to kind of
It's
preface that a
also
little bit too.
called Legends.
Yes, it's also called the Legends material, which
EU
it's
and
not.
Legends are the same thing.
Mhm. Now, it does not. It does the EU or Legends material is not considered current canon as far as Disney is concerned. When they took over in 2012, they erased the EU and said it does not matter anymore, but it still can be used as expanded universe or Legends material, but it does not affect the current canon. That way, basically, so
Right.
Disney could tell the story they wanted to tell.
So, my
But
opinion, go out and read
let
that
me add.
stuff and enjoy it because it's great. But I mean, or don't. I mean, if you don't,
No, the EU. I agree. I agree. The EU. There's EU books that I read, and I mean, a lot of them I didn't. But there's EU books that I read that have some great stories. And to
Working
add
there,
to
that's
that
what
a
I
little
just
bit
said.
too, just to add to that a little bit, um, and this is something that a lot of people who are EU defenders don't like to admit, but George Lucas himself said that the EU did not count as canon, and if he was to make a sequel trilogy, it would not go with the canon that they had already established. He would
The
make his own
EU.
movies, and it would not matter. Yeah, so George Lucas would have erased the EU as well for those people who
Yeah,
are
there's a
EU.
lot of people out there that are like EU worshippers that think George would have done EU stuff. And that's just not the case.
That's not the case. He was going to make his own sequel trilogy that was based on his own information, his own stories that had nothing to do with the EU, and people would have been upset because he erased those stories and they'd have been mad. So Disney didn't do anything he wasn't going to do. So I hate it when people bring that up. I mean, to be honest with you.
So Smirking Bear says, and why wouldn't cloning be a thing for Palpatine to do? There was a whole war that happened around clones. I mean,
Exactly.
he was all about the clones.
Yeah. Yeah. And really, honestly, if you watch,
Brian says, just not the crappy EU book where they killed off Chewie. I
yeah,
actually liked that book.
yeah, but they did
Strangely
kill off
enough, as far as novels go, that was actually the first Star Wars novel that I had read.
Hmm.
It was, if I'm remembering right, the name of it was Vector Prime. And it was the first story of the Yojin Vong thing.
hmm Which people disagree with me, but I think that should be the next baddie that they need to fight.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be freaking
I
awesome.
have people that do vehemently disagree with me on that, but I think that they should actually be brought
They
into
can
canon. They
disagree.
should fight the. Yeah,
They can
I
disagree.
don't care. But anyway.
But yeah, so Palpatine's return, everybody hated it, or not everybody. A lot of people hated it. They complained about it. I was fine with it. I like Palpatine as a character, so I was fine with him coming back.
Yeah, I
And
was fine with it.
and it somehow not making sense. Like, why wouldn't it make sense? One of the most powerful Sith
Because
Lords in history.
the essence of other Sith lords were trapped inside other objects and were trapped inside temples. Or yeah, I can't talk. We're trapped inside of other objects. They were trapped inside of temples, and these are things that were EU. These are things that were in canon. These are things that had already been explored and expanded upon. Now, why wouldn't one of the most powerful Sith in the world figure out a way to transfer his essence away from himself and transport it into something else? So
Exactly.
either he was going to end up in a mask or some type of piece of property, or why not? If they had the ability to clone troopers, which is a new technology, why wouldn't he transfer his essence into a clone version of himself?
Right.
And the whole fact that his body couldn't sustain the cloning, the cloned version of himself could not sustain the power that his essence held makes complete sense. Because they didn't know how to clone Force users. If they did, they'd have been cloning Force users and Sith all day long, but they couldn't do it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So the fact that his body couldn't contain the power makes perfect sense to me. So I had, I like that part. I had no issues with it. I was fine with it, and I'm glad that they brought Ian McDermott back to actually play Palp, and they brought him back as the guy who's been behind the scenes pulling the strings the whole time.
See, how does that not make sense? He's been pulling strings since before the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, kind of moving on. Yes.
Do you need anything from Aldi?
No, thank you.
The kids said they love you and good night.
Thanks.
Family time. Quick pause.
Kind of related to that last question. Another bit of the movie that there was a lot of people. What am I trying to say? There's a lot of divisiveness over. Thoughts on Rey's lineage? The reveal that she was a Palpatine.
I think it made her abilities and her ability to use the Force so easily. I think it made it make more sense. A lot of people are like, "Oh no, that's stupid. That's stupid." No, because it actually makes more sense. It makes sense that she would be so attuned to the Force, she would have such Force abilities.
Yeah.
Now they said, "Oh, well, that doesn't make sense because it skipped her father, but it became prevalent in her." Okay, let me explain something.
Her father was a defective clone.
Right. But my thing about it is that okay, so I'll give you an example of something that and I know this is kind of a minor example, but this is something that happens in reality, okay? So my father has asthma real bad, okay? So fortunately for me, it skipped over me, but it got my brother.
Yeah.
So the fact that they made a clone of him that had no Force abilities whatsoever, that it skipped a generation, but then he met someone, fell in love with her, and when they got together, the child of those two put together actually was able to tap into that power is not unheard of. It's not unreasonable, and I don't see the issue with it.
Right. And if you ever studied genetics in like high school biology or college biology, there is a concept called a recessive gene.
Yeah.
And so you have like let's just use like blonde hair as an example. Like say your mother or your father, either one, had blonde hair, but you didn't. you still carry a gene for blonde hair.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of a roll of the dice that your kid is going to end up with that recessive gene as a dominant gene.
Well,
So,
like Brian's
yeah, male pattern ball. Yeah.
male pattern baldness. Male
But
pattern baldness. Sometimes it skips a generation. Sometimes it
yeah,
skips certain people.
so his son did not have the Force,
Yeah.
but he still carried that gene.
Yeah. And then
Uh,
when Ray became that way, when Ray was born, she received it. Now, for
he
like I
received it.
said, for me, it makes sense because all of the stuff that she did, all the Mary Sue claims and all the powers that she had that she was available to her.
So irritating.
If you're literally a descendant clone of, if you're literally the descendant of the clone of the most powerful, one of the most powerful Force users in the galaxy, it makes sense that if she is a daughter of a Palpatine clone, it makes sense that her powers and her abilities would be astronomical. It would be crazy. But but what a lot of people don't realize too is if you look at Kylo Ren was very powerful.
He was very what?
He was very
Oh,
powerful.
he
I
was
mean,
very powerful.
he stopped the blaster bolt in mid bolt. I mean, he
Right.
was powerful.
Yeah,
He
he
was
was.
just confused. He didn't know which side he needed to be on. He was uneducated. He didn't know. But he was literally the grandson of Anakin Skywalker, and dare say his abilities were very powerful for where he was in his life. So if you think about it, they're both it's the same kind of thing. The grandson of Anakin Skywalker was extremely powerful. The granddaughter of Palpatine, extremely powerful. I mean,
Right.
if you look at it from that aspect, it makes a lot more sense. And then, like all the stuff that she was able to do with almost zero training or very little training, it's like, yeah, in a way, it's problematic because she didn't, people weren't instructing her. But also, look at Luke. Luke did not have the traditional training of a Jedi, but he became one of the most powerful Jedi to ever live just because he had the crash, he had the crash course,
Yeah.
he learned it himself, all that
And
kind
he
of
had
stuff.
the blood of Darth Vader. So.
And he had the blood of Darth Vader in him. So, I mean, to think that it's kind of an out there concept or that's crazy, that would never happen. But wouldn't it? Think about it. It really might.
It makes more sense than when you think about it, though. It's like,
Yeah. And Stacey, I kind of agree with you on that. I think that would have been. I don't know about maybe them being together, but at least them gaining a partnership where they could have rebuilt the Jedi Order together, the two of them.
yeah.
But if you think about it, also, and I'm sure we're kind of skipping ahead a few points, but the fact that he gave his life for her is like the ultimate redemption arc because all the people that he killed, it's the same thing as his grandfather. His grandfather killed Palpatine and restored order by killing Palpatine and rescuing his son. Kylo Ren kind of did the same thing. He had people that he killed, he had bad things that he did, but the ultimate redemption is that he gave everything that he had in his entire life to save Rey and to make sure that she passed on the lineage and the legacy. So I'm kind of okay with that. I mean, yeah, it was kind of weird, it was kind of unexpected, but I kind of agree. In a way, I really don't have a problem with that. I think it's okay the way they did that because I think it makes sense.
She says, "How does a Force have a kid?"
Yeah, exactly.
That's going deeper than we want to get tonight.
Yeah.
So also on the subject of Rey, is a little question that I actually have a title for. Family by blood or family by choice? So thoughts on
one of the most deeply divisive questions in the whole entire trilogy.
What do you think about Rey calling herself Skywalker at the end?
You know what? People, you can come at me if you want. That's fine. We can discuss it further if you feel like if you feel the need. I don't have a problem with it, and the reason why I don't have a problem with it is several reasons. One, Luke tried to train her, but he was dealing with his own demons. But he did train her in a way. He did kind of show her some things, and he did try
I
to
mean,
talk to her.
I
He
think
tried to train.
I think his part of training her was pretty important.
Yeah, and I think because he had less time to accomplish with her than what Yoda did with Luke in, like, say, The Empire Strikes Back. So
Sure.
his was a crash course, but he was also dealing with his own demons at the same time. Leia kind of completed that training by telling her everything that she knew and trying to help her down the path as best she could. And on top of that,
We'll get to
again,
that, Stacy.
the aforementioned, literally a Skywalker, the last living Skywalker, sacrificed his life to save hers, to bring her back literally from the dead. And so the fact that if, and I look at it from this point of view, if, like,
That's
what is
fair.
it?
Brian said it's not like she'd be able to walk around the galaxy using the last name Palpatine.
Yeah, exactly. I
Uh,
think the two things about it is that, number one, Brian hit the first point is that you would not want to go around calling your, like, if you were Adolf Hitler's son or daughter, you would not want to go around saying, hey, by the way, I'm Adolf Hitler's son or daughter. You wouldn't want to do that. You would not want to go around telling people that you're the daughter of Emperor Palpatine. You would not want to do that because it would not go over well. Secondly, the thing about the ultimate kind of FU to the Sith, to Palpatine's evil, to Palpatine's reign, is his own granddaughter said, I'm not associated with you. I don't want to be anything like you. I'm actually going to take the name of your enemy and I'm going to use it as my own and say that I'm a part of them because I don't want to be anywhere. I don't want to have any association with you whatsoever. So I'm going to take the name of Skywalker so I don't have to be associated with you. And I think it's the biggest middle finger to Palpatine.
Yeah, Stacy brings up a good point. Is like when she's there on Tatooine, and that old lady asks her who she is. She's like, Ray who? And then right then the ghosts appear. It's
Yeah,
like, that's them kind of bringing her in.
the idea of Star Wars being about found family has never been more prevalent, I think, in that scene where Luke and Leia show up and they give her the seal of approval and say, go ahead, you're a part of us, you're one of us. And she says, my name is Ray Skywalker, and I don't have an issue with it. I don't have a problem with it. I don't know why people,
I liked it.
why it's so divisive. I liked it. I thought it was fun.
Great.
Now, if she goes into another movie and never says it again, fine, so be it. But if she goes around, in the next movie announcing everywhere she goes, she's Ray Skywalker, it might be a little bit of a problem. But I don't really see that being an issue. Ray and the Twin Sons cinematic was beautiful. Yes, I agree. Bear, I 100% agree. The fact that she stood on the same mound with BB-8 on the Twin Sons, finishing the legacy, and now she gets to go on and create a whole new legacy outside of the Skywalker saga, I think is great. I mean, she took on the name to show respect for her teachers, for her masters, for the man that saved her life, to show respect to the family, and I don't take issue with that at all.
Also, I don't think it's a whole lot different or much of a stretch over, like, here in reality, we have people, men that get married to single mothers, whose dad, the child, their real dad, biological dad, is not in the picture, and they adopt that child and give them their name. I don't see it as all that much different.
I don't know how many stories when The Rise of Skywalker came out and this whole thing about this blew up. I don't know a single. I can tell you a bunch of stories that I've read online about people who, in that very same scenario that you're talking about, but also kids that were in foster homes or in homes for the kids that don't have parents, who were adopted by other people, and the people that they get adopted by, they took their last name. They became part of their family, even though they weren't blood relations. They still became part of their family, and that was their found family. And they took on the last name, even though that they're not blood relations. They still took on that last name.
As much family as
Exactly. And to sit there and say that, oh, she's not allowed to do that. She can't be a Skywalker because she's a Palpatine. The fact that she didn't want to be associated with one of the most evil people in the Star Wars galaxy, I don't have a problem with. And I don't know why anybody would. I don't know why that's such a big deal that people say, oh, she's a Palpatine. She has to be a Palpatine. She has to call herself a Palpatine. No, she doesn't. She doesn't have to call herself a Palpatine. If she doesn't want to be associated with the most evil person in the Star Wars universe, I have zero issue with her
She could have
saying,
called
I'd
herself
rather be a
Solo.
Skywalker. Huh?
She could have called herself Solo, and I would have had
She could have, but the fact that she paid homage to the Skywalker family by saying, I'm a Skywalker and I'm now a Jedi, I think, number one, like I said, the biggest FU to Palpatine, and two, it's never been more prevalent that Star Wars has always been about found family and being a part of a group of people that may not necessarily be your family, but they're the people that you trust and you love the most. And that was a perfect example of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Joy says she has Skywalker life force keeping her breathing. 100%.
Yep.
100%. She may have Palpatine DNA, but the life force of a Skywalker and several Skywalkers lives within her. I
Right.
don't have a problem with that.
Right. Do you think the redemption arc of Ben Solo, what do you think it was a proper redemption arc? Setting aside that the movie should have been 2 movies, putting that out of your head.
Because that would have explained that and would have made that arc more prevalent. Now, the part where he's sitting on the Death Star wreckage and he sees his father, and even though it's an image in his head or the Force or however you want to define it, that was freaking crazy. I loved that. It was awesome to see that. To see Harrison Ford come back for that one little scene where he actually is the memory of his father and the fight that he's had internally about
Yeah.
what happened to his father,
Yeah.
and the fact that he shows up and he's
You're
the
just
one
a memory.
Yeah.
Your memory.
Your memory. I've been living rent free in your head, and here I am, and now you're having enough of a problem with it that now and the fact that memory was able to turn, because obviously Han Solo didn't come back as a Force ghost. We already know that, but he came back in Kylo's head as being a part of the memory, and him finally coming to terms with the fact that what he did and what he's been doing this whole time, that he's been wrong, and he finally realizes it. I loved it. I loved that part. That's probably one of my most favorite parts, is the fact that he sees his father and it makes him turn back to the good side.
Joy says the best scene of the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. That was pretty freaking awesome.
It was a good one.
And I also do like the final battle where they come together and they transport the lightsaber through the Force, and he fights the Knights of Ren and kicks their butt and does that. Now, I kind of wish that they had stood together in the fight against Palpatine. I think it would have been.
Well, we got a new person in here, Natalie. I'm going to respond to that question by saying we are Star Wars fans.
A definitive. We are Star Wars fans. We don't just for the kind of the new folks in the group. So Natalie and Star, all of you guys, we don't delve into the hate. We might address the hate, but we don't delve into the hate. We don't go into the hate. We try to keep it pretty even, and we try to defend our positions. We're pretty open. We try to stay pretty positive. We're open to conversation as long as it's respectful and that kind of thing. You're more than welcome to throw out your opinion. If you're not a sequel trilogy person, that's fine. If you're strictly EU or original, that's fine. We that's fine. We just try to keep the conversations respectful
for everybody.
Yeah. But we try to keep the conversations respectful so that way that everybody feels like they can express their opinion or their love for it in whichever way is best for them. Yeah.
Exactly.
So, yeah. No, the Han Solo thing was cool. The transporting the lightsaber through was cool. Like I said, the only thing I think I would have changed is I wish they would have fought a way to fight Palpatine together. They would have found a way to stand together against him. But I guess that would have been hard to work. But I don't know how that would have worked out. But I do wish that there was a way they could have done that. So that way we could have seen the both of them. But then again, So
yeah. Anyway. So aside from the fact that it was a little rushed, it was It was a good redemption arc.
Yeah, and like I said before, the aforementioned, he actually sacrificed his life force to make sure that Ray passed on. I mean,
Exactly.
it was a noble sacrifice for everything that he had done. For everything that he had done, it was a noble sacrifice to see that she carried on, which would have been a redemption. I mean, for the most part, would have been a redemption for that. You know,
I agree, Natalie. I think the cinematography in this movie was outstanding.
Yep.
But let's see. Okay, so some other notes that I had. We did get a few new planet. And I didn't bring my book. What the fuck?
Exegol?
Yeah, we did get Exegol. We got Exegol. Which is crazy. I mean, eventually you really need to read Shadow of the Sith. Because it talks about Escol a lot. Okay, let me see. No, that's from an old movie.
Yeah, I think Spurgeon Bear's right.
There's the planet is called Agen Kloss, which is where the Resistance base was. Never seen that one before. Although it's not really new to the Star Wars legacy, and we've seen it live action before, we did get an alternate look at Mustafar.
Yes. It's not really even mentioned. It's not even really mentioned that it is Mustafar at the beginning.
Yeah, but I don't remember when they actually did say that's Mustafar. There's another. There is a planet that I'm going to get to, but I'm kind of saving that one. That might actually be the next one anyway. Oh, no, wait. There was the Pisana,
with the celebration,
the celebration planet where they run into Lando.
Yeah. So I don't know if you. I'm sure you probably caught it, and I'm sure there's probably a lot of people that caught it. But in case you didn't, when Rise of Skywalker came out, C-3PO makes a reference to the celebration of Pisana happens every 42 years.
Yeah.
What that was actually referring to was the fact that it had been 42 years since the original Star Wars had came out.
Yeah. Next planet that we got that was new was Kajini, and I really like that one.
Were you a Spice Runner? Were you a Spice Runner? Were you a Stormtrooper? Were you a Spice Runner? Were you a Stormtrooper? You were a Spice Runner? Were you a Scavenger? We could do this all day.
Yeah. I like that. So I like that, and if you ever played the video game Star Wars Outlaws, you get to explore that planet quite deeply.
Nice.
But yeah, it's
nice.
It's one of the main planets you have to spend a lot of time on.
Nice.
But that was pretty cool. And then we already talked about Exegol, but the next, the last one, I think it's the last one, as far as new planets that we got to see, was I'm probably pronouncing this wrong, but it's Kef Bur, which was a planet in the Endor system. And that was pretty cool, getting to see different perspectives of systems that we've seen before. That being said, Stacy and Smirking Bear were kind of related comments here. Poe was funny. Spice Arena scene was comical. There were a lot of comical scenes in this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, you had the whole, they fly now. And then you got like Babu Frick, man, he's hilarious.
Babu Frick was awesome.
And then all the stuff, all the banter back and forth between Poe and Finn and Ray and just
and 3PO.
And 3PO. That scene where he's like, oh, and they have kites and delicious delectables. And he's like, What?
I love the part where he goes, Chewie, you kind of stand out in the crowd, duck, and he kind of squats down and
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you're not gonna not stand out in the crowd, dude. Come on.
yeah, yeah. Or Babu Frick, he's one of my oldest friends. C-3PO losing his mind, his memory.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, no, there was a lot of funny scenes in that movie. And then as far as new characters, man, where to begin? There were a ton of new characters. And then there were some characters who were kind of new, but then just kind of got shelved. But oh man, you had the First Order guy who winds up killing Hux.
Pride. General Pride.
General Pride.
Uh-huh.
You had them, and then you had these new red suited stormtroopers.
The Sith troopers, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, they looked kind of goofy. Yep.
I think if we'd have gotten more time with them, I think it would have been cool. Because actually, I've seen like close-ups of their armor and stuff like that, and it actually looks like a cross between like a First Order stormtrooper and like one of the Praetorian Guards.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think if we'd have got more time with them, I think they would have been cooler. I think it would have made more sense.
This was the movie where we got the monkey armor, right?
Yes.
Okay.
The one that redid Kylo Ren's helmet. Now the thing about that too, and I don't quote me because I would probably butcher. I would actually probably butcher the name of it or what it is, but so there's actually significance in that. Now, the fact that they brought his helmet back, some people were a little upset with. They didn't like that fact. They didn't like the fact that he brought his helmet back. They thought it was kind of rushed.
Get over yourselves, people.
Yeah. So that actually what that is there. I think if I remember correctly, and I might have to do a little bit more research on it, but there was actually the reason they did that, and it was actually a reference to back in the day when the samurai would like get their armor crushed or something would happen to it. They would actually bond the armor back together because it was the armor when they made it was theirs. They didn't want to make like several suits of armor. They actually had to make one suit of armor, and something happened to it. They had to make several repairs to it. So the fact that they repaired the armor, they put it back together, and they put it back on him was just an indicative of that idea of he was just repairing what was once his and putting it back on to solidify him and who he was.
The species is called Symeong, Symeong.
Yeah. Brian says that is that what if that's what I'm reading? He said it's kintsugi. That's what the idea of that is that so there was actually a purpose and a significance behind it.
Yeah. But yeah, we got more we got so many new characters. And yes, Joy Zori was very interesting. Her and the whole crew, like Babu Frick was freaking awesome. I still think we need to get a Babu Frick and Hondo Anaka buddy cop team up movie. Disney, are you listening? We need this movie. I've got a title for you. It's frickin' Hondo.
Frickin' Hondo. Well, they're putting obviously you can see his species in Mandalorian. Yeah, the Mandalorian Grogu movie already featured him in there, so they're going to be having more Babu Frick type stuff in there.
Yeah,
which is funny because if you watch season 3 of the Mando, they actually are the babies trying to pick on the species.
Baby, no squeezy.
Yeah, no squeezy. So they're bringing those guys into it, which is great, which is cool. I think because they're fun. They are funny.
And then on that planet in the Indoor system, of course, you got Jaina, and then all of the other
stormtroopers,
basically. Yeah, I mean, former stormtroopers. There you go. But yeah, those guys, a ton of new characters. Sith Eternal that we don't really get a chance to see so much, but they're there. And then Is this the first time we actually see the Knights of Ren? I don't.
No, technically we see them, but they really aren't doing anything. And we saw them in The Force Awakens in a flashback scene, in like a
Oh,
Force
right,
flashback.
right.
We did see them, but they really weren't significant. The only thing we know about them is that they were there when Kylo returned to the temple and
Yeah,
started going after
right.
going
But
after Luke and
we
his
got to see them kind of up close and personal this time.
yeah. Yeah.
Um, and even then, I mean, still, it was just like, okay. I mean, the thing where he fights him at the end, it's like, okay, this is cool, but why again do we care about these people?
Yeah.
just one of the things they dropped the ball on.
Yeah, I completely agree with that because they these characters probably could have been pretty cool and we could have kind of figured out because they could have been like an Inquisitor style group of people,
Yeah.
where they were like the new
Well,
Inquisitors or something like that. But they ended up
there's a comic book where they go more into detail about who these
Mhm.
people are.
And there's
And
actually
it's a pretty interesting story.
there's actually a Galaxy's Edge has a helmet now that is the helmet of the leader of the Ren clan or something like that. That they have there now that's supposed to be part of it. So yeah. There's a backstory that they wrote for it, kind of ish.
Yeah, I'm trying to. What was it? Oh, it was just called The Rise of Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
Yeah, it explores the Knights of Ren. You want to fill this one? Stacy has a comment about Rose and Finn.
Right for Finn. I kind of agree. As far as I don't agree with it not liking Rose. I liked her character. I thought she was fine. For what she contributed to the story, I think she was okay. Now, as far as the Rose and Finn thing is concerned, yeah, that was kind of weird. And that's one of my biggest complaints about The Last Jedi, and a lot of people have said it too, is when Finn tried to sacrifice himself, Rose smashed into his speeder or his craft and
Yeah,
basically crashed the both of them, which, yes, I agree was universally dumb. And the fact that the two of them were almost like they were going to be a thing, yeah, I didn't really
and
see
then they
that
just kind of.
chemistry. I didn't really. Yeah, and then and I think again, going back to my previous comment, the whole doing damage control. I think the whole Rose and Finn thing was damage control because everybody was kind of like, "That's the cringiest thing I've ever seen. That's so stupid." And
Yeah,
even people who liked The Last Jedi were like, "Yeah, that was dumb. That didn't make sense." And so that got shelved big time. And really honestly, I think kind of for the better. I'll be honest with you. I don't dislike the Rose character, and I've already have made defenses about Finn. I like Finn. I don't necessarily like kind of the stuff that John Boyega has been doing behind the scenes lately because it just seems like he's doing a
yeah,
lot of things for Marauder. But
yeah.
I did like Finn. I didn't have a problem with Finn. There's a lot of things about Finn that I really liked, and I've defended his character a lot. And Rose, I'll go as far as to say I will defend Rose because I think she also represents a demographic of Star Wars that was underrepresented, and she just kind of made up for that. But as far as the two of them, no chemistry, and that
I
scene was just not needed.
People are probably going to dislike what I have to say here. First, I like Finn. I like the character. I don't
Mhm.
disagree with that. I would be okay with them recasting because he seems like he's been kind of a dick lately
Yeah,
about Star
yeah,
Wars in general, about Star Wars
yeah,
and Star Wars fans, and it's like,
yeah,
yeah, see ya.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so I
And
agree
see,
there.
a lot of people are like, "Oh, Finn didn't have a very good progression throughout the story." If you look at his character and what he started out as opposed to what he ended up, his character had progression. It just didn't go the way everybody wanted it to go,
Right,
or the way they feel like it, or the way they kind of advertised it was going to go.
but
But
again,
in the end, he still admitted that he was force sensitive, and he started to show that,
right,
which means there could have been expanded material. They could have done more stuff later. They were trying
that
to wrap up. They were trying to wrap up the core of the original story in the Skywalker saga so they could move on to other stories. And it could have involved Finn as a Jedi, or
He
it
should
being
have been
part
a
of the new
big
Jedi
part
Order.
of the Rey sequels.
Yeah, he could have been a part of that, or whatever the next set of movies could have been. Maybe not even focusing on Rey. He could have been a part of that, but instead, people were like, "Well, I didn't get what I wanted. I didn't get it right now, so now I'm upset." Okay, weenie, shut up, stop whining. You could have gotten a lot more. They could have expanded a lot more, but instead, you people decided to cry instead. So it's like, ugh,
So
give it a
Square says
chance.
that the Knights of Ren should have been explored and expanded more in the movies. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Joy says they were basically a dark side biker gang.
Pretty much.
That's fair.
Pretty much. Like I said, I kind of compare them to the Inquisitors. I think they were more like an Inquisitor type thing.
I don't think they were powerful enough to be Inquisitors. But
Yeah. Could be right.
Claire says most people don't read the books and comics.
True.
We're kind of trying to change that. We're starting with the comics. Eventually, we're going to start talking about books.
Eventually.
When time permits.
Really, that's why we have the segment
as in when we get time to read.
Yeah, that's really why we started doing the segment of Drawn to the Force, because like the comic books, there's a lot of expanded information in there. There's a lot of good stuff, and there's a lot of really good comic books that people should read. And so we're trying to expand people into that.
Yeah, and Joy says Rise of Kylo Ren was a pretty good comic series, although it muddled the waters as to who destroyed Luke's temple. That is a good point. And if you haven't read it yet, Joy, God damn it, what is the name of the fucking?
But if you think about it, the movies never really do definitively address who did it.
Yeah, Legacy of Vader is the name of the comic book series. They are up to number 7. I don't remember when 8 comes out, but that's a good one too. Yeah, Bear. That's kind of what we were hinting at. He's great character, actor, not so much. That's why I was saying I'd be.
I really did like Finn, and I really did like him when it came out, and I really liked the things that he was doing. And I saw him in some interviews when he's talking about it. And he was really trying to promote the movies. He did a great job. Yeah. But since then, it's just been more of a blah 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 blah, and no real consistency on what he's talking about. And I understand. Well, anyway.
Right.
It's just the thing I never understood. This is something I never understood, and I don't hear people talk about this very much. I don't understand why they forced him to have an American accent, and they let Daisy Ridley retain her British accent. That's something I never understood.
That didn't make any sense to me.
No, it doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to me at all.
You're right. I haven't heard too many people bring that up.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest things I noticed about the movie, but nobody ever brings it up, is the fact that they made John Boyega learn American accent, but they let Daisy Ridley keep her British accent. I never understood that.
Check out Legacy of Vader. Dr. Affer's another good one. But do we have anything?
Yeah, Stacy says no. He didn't need to be a Jedi in the last movie because Rey and Kylo Ren were the diet. I agree.
I mean,
which is why I think they should have if they'd have just said, look, we're going to expand the story of Rey and Finn exploring their abilities and possibly becoming part of the new Jedi Order. If they'd have given that a chance,
Jedi, but he still has some Force sensitivity. He's still Force sensitive.
Yeah.
Anybody in the chat?
I still think that his progression and who he ended up becoming made sense, and I don't have a problem with it. I think it was good. And everybody's like, "Oh, all he did was scream Rey." He was screaming Rey because he's worried about his friend.
Right.
Oh, darn.
All right, folks in the chat, any final thoughts about the Rise of Skywalker? And any final thoughts?
One thing that we did not hit upon and we did not bring up a lot is I adored the fact that they brought Lando back.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I even thought it was even better that he got to fly the Falcon in the final battle for the last time. The interaction, the fact that he went around the galaxy and brought all the people in. I think the scene where Poe thinks everything is about to go bad and everything has gone bad and everybody's about to die, and then all of a sudden Lando shows up with all those ships. That is a great part of the movie. I think that was absolutely fantastic. And something we didn't mention is not only is it him and Chewie, but it's also Wedge and the gunner on the
Yeah.
gunner's port as a cameo. The fact that they showed up in time and they helped with the battle and the entire galaxy showed up to ensure that the First Order and the Final Order didn't rise again and bring tyranny to the galaxy. I think that was an absolutely fantastic scene. I think that was great. It was awesome. I think it added to the battle. I think it made it great. Yeah. So the fact that they brought Lando back and he was able to fly the Falcon one more time in battle with Chewie and fly it for Han and do that stuff, I think that was probably one of my favorite scenes.
Yeah.
Absolutely love that.
Yeah, I think. See, Stacy says she's only watched the ones with Ray.
Wow. So have you only watched the sequel trilogy then? Because if you only watched the sequel trilogy, you're missing out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd rank the Rise of Skywalker among the top 5, maybe 3 Star Wars movies. Smirking Bear says. I enjoyed it. I don't know that I would go that far, but I definitely enjoyed it. I definitely don't think it deserves. Number one, I don't. Oh well, hey, Stacy, your homework is you need to go back and watch the originals. You need to watch the prequels. You need to start watching the TV shows. You've got a lot of homework. So just saying. Yeah, I don't think it deserves. One, I don't think it deserves the hate that it does. I don't think that it ranks in the lower part. If you go back and you watch some of our previous shows, I've kind of said what I think is my lowest ranked Star Wars movie. I just definitely don't think The Rise of Skywalker is that. A lot of it, I think it can be made sense of. I think a lot of the story can be made sense of. And honestly, my final thought on the thing is that I hope that eventually they will give the sequel trilogy the same consideration that they gave the prequel trilogy, and we will start seeing more shows that deal with that timeline that will assist that story and make it make more sense with more continuity. I really think
old, Stacy. Come on, man. Do I start with the really old ones from the 80s?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
man.
Yes. But I think it will deliver. I think it will deliver more continuity. I think it will make the story make more sense. And I think it will do for the sequel trilogy what the Clone Wars TV show, animated show did for the prequels. I think it made it more consistent. I think it made it more, I gave it more continuity. It gave it more backstory. It made it make more sense. And I think as they come out with new information, as they come out with new stuff and they try to expand upon those ideas, I think it will add, a new light to the sequel trilogy. They just need to give it time.
Yeah.
But like I said, they could turn a really rushed movie if they added like TV shows to it around that timeline. They could turn it into a movie with more context that would help it out. Even though it should have been 2 movies, they still could help it out, and that might make things better if they do it correctly, if they do it right.
Yeah.
Disney, are you listening?
Disney,
are you listening to a couple of old guys talking about Star Wars on a podcast on Tuesday night?
Oh, there you go. There you go, Joy. She's sucking up to the host there, man. Maybe check out the Rogue One next.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's all we got for tonight. I gotta get going. Got some schoolwork to do. But thanks all the current and new people that popped up in the chat. Good to have new faces in here with some
thank you for joining us.
New questions that we don't think about asking. And be back.
And
Oh,
don't forget about the links to our Discord. If you feel so
right.
inclined, please join our Discord.
There's our bio link, bio.link/Rebel Nerd Radio. That'll take you to our Discord and all our other socials. Make sure, if you haven't already, to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscribe and smash that like button.
Yeah, you know the routine.
You
Subscribe,
know how it
smash the
goes.
like button, comment if you feel the
Please, we
need.
need more subscribers. And we like we said earlier, we will not be here next week
Because JD's
but
on
we
vacation.
will
Because
be
I'm on
back.
vacation.
You will be on vacation, JD.
I'm on vacation.
But the next week, which is, let's see, our next week. Next week is the 21st. Oh, wait a minute. No, that's not right. No, next week is the 14th, which we don't have a show. But the week after, which is the 21st of October, we are going to be doing our exploration into the character of Darth Maul with our good friend Mari.
Awesome. You guys need to be here for that because it's a lot of fun, and it will be a lot of fun. Except there will not be bionic thingies. Okay, there might be bionic thingies. I can't promise there won't be bionic thingies. Because I'm not promising anything anymore. So
and if you're new and are a new subscriber, like you, Stacy, we got a whole slew of other episodes that you can go refer back to. Except for last week. Don't go check that one out.
You can check it out. I mean,
it got kind of wild.
It got freaking weird.
But yeah, we will. Some bear says, so you say there's a chance.
Oh,
there might be.
Oh,
Joy says we behaved tonight. Yeah, you guys were incredibly well behaved tonight.
Yeah,
but we'll see you next time. Of course, we'll be in the Discord if you just want to talk about whatever. And we'll see you next time. So may the Force be with you.